Hey, fellas, listen. Hey, I want to talk to those fellas out there that you've been told that you're just a cold person. You've been told that you're just unreachable. You're not cold. You're not unreachable. You're guarded, man. And being guarded is costing you. You know it's costing you. Who am I? I'm speaking to that person like I was years ago, right? Where, man, I provided for everything that she would ever want. I was able to do the things that had a great lifestyle, had all those things going on, could handle, business meetings at a high level, had built a successful business, was able to communicate in spaces where you're rubbing the right elbows at high levels, all that stuff, right? And then I would get home and something would come up in a conversation and a nerve, she'd strike a nerve, that same old nerve that I used to say, oh man, I'll just go silent. Wisdom, there's maybe some wisdom around silence, right? This is an extension of the 5 day challenge. Rise from silence. Fellas, the most powerful thing a man can do is tell the truth, right? So anyway, I was in that space and in that denial, man, and it just kept coming up and nothing ever really got solved, right? If that's you, then hey, welcome back to another opportunity to look yourself and look at your life as it is right now, all those things in this hand, and then look at your life. And what we like to talk about is the mirror moment, that reflection that looks back at you and you can't hide from it, right? It shows who you really are. And today I want to come into you and just talk just for a second about, hey, yes, you might be going silent, and maybe it's the right decision at the time because you're already in the doghouse, and if you open your mouth up, you're gonna say some things that you really can't fix and unwrap. So you you go from the doghouse to the garage to out the house, right? If you're not careful. But then, but then the other side of that, and this is that piece over here, that hand that you're looking at that says, "Oh man, I better just avoid this so we don't get in the argument any worse." Or maybe I'll go silent because it's probably better to go silent and or ignore her, leave her confused, leave her from unable to reach you. And it's been part of a vicious cycle that you're experiencing. And I'm talking to the fellas that are married, who love their wife, who want their marriage to work, but this piece keeps coming up. And we go into that retreat mode. Right. I just, I was in a room the other day with about 20 successful men. I mean, in all different backgrounds, and we got together with the intention of just having a manly conversation, and it was a powerful conversation. And I asked, right, I was like, okay, hey, so how many of us in here find vulnerability to be a strength? Of course, I shot my hand up real fast. Yeah, I'm one of those. Yeah, and I saw a few other hands like this go up, and then I said, so how many of us see vulnerability as a weakness? And then hands went up throughout the room, and then they started, and I was talking a little bit more about why, and then some of the hands kind of they started asking questions to kind of get some clarity, and those hands that said that had weakness moved over here to the strength side of it because they began to see it from the eyes of just being honest, right? Not being trapped, no longer being trapped by the lies that we were told as kids. Right? There are so many grown men like I was that are going around running our relationship behaviors off of lessons that we learned as kids. And the lesson I'm talking about is that we learn early. I learned early on. I talk about it all the time. I know I'm not the only one. That honesty can be dangerous. You can get your feelings hurt by being honest and telling the truth, right? By the people that care about you the most, right? And they don't intentionally do it. Some do along the way, but man, when our feelings are hurt as men, and then we're told that men don't cry, right? When teardrops are rolling down your eye after maybe getting hit in the face with a bat or something like kids do, right? Playing around, and but we've been lied to since we were children, and then we begin to lie to ourselves, and then we begin to embrace what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, I'm coming at you, and maybe no, I'm not. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I forgot to ask. Is it okay? I didn't forget to ask. I didn't ask intentionally. If it's okay if I just have a real short, powerful share with you just for a couple of minutes, because man, I see it all the time. And in that room, there were guys that were like, man, And I shared about my 5-year-old self and coming back because we got to go back to fix what's showing up in front of us. That's another conversation. So, anyway, if silence gives you control in your mind, I'd ask you to think about something. Has it helped gain perspective about you, who you really are? Are you proud of your behavior, or are you losing yourself in that game of silence? That's one. And most importantly, do you feel closer to your wife, fiance, or special person, or further away? So put it in the comment section, close, further away, and let me know. Right? Put it down in the comment section. Because I know, like I was, there are many of you that are tired of the vicious cycle, and I'm here to say, as long as we continue to blame it on, I did say blame, as long as we continue to blame it on, her not being appreciative of the things that we provide, she's not listening to you, she doesn't understand, or some say, well, I tried, Jeff, to be vulnerable, and it blew up in my face, so I'm not doing that anymore, which is, that's unfortunate because no one else can do this for you but you. And every time you say, I'm not doing this anymore, the further you get away from change. And I'm going to tell you something, man. I lived that life where I thought I had everything together, but that one piece, that ability to connect with what we're talking about, kept me from a life, man, that I live today. And it's amazing. And more importantly, guys, listen, if you're in a situation like I was and there were some things going on in your, I'm talking about my first marriage now, things going on in your marriage, and you don't lean in, you don't risk being vulnerable, you don't do those things, you still line up against that age old message that, being honest is dangerous, right? Because remember what I said earlier, we're living our current life off of the feelings and lessons that we learned as kids that are wrong about being vulnerable, about being open, about being loving, right? All that stuff that we learned that which is a lie. So that's what's running us now as grown men. And then we justify it by whatever it is that you pick. Put it in the comment section. What do you justify when you go silent? Is it unappreciative? Is it that's happened before? What is it that is? Put it in there. Let me know. Because I want to leave you with this thought, right? And welcome you to stay tuned for the third series of the 5-day challenge where we kind of line up everything. And we go from this first message that I'm talking about, we go from finally owning, putting a name on what's really going on, right? No more excuses. Put a name on it to the best of your ability, right? Sometimes, since it's been so many years, this stuff so far down, it's hard to see what's really lurking behind all this skin, right? It's just hard to see, hard to get in contact with that vision. So I ask you, take your time, be kind to yourself. The mirror moment exercise that we've created for this situation ask you to do one thing. Right? And then just look in the mirror and put together all the stories you tell yourself that aren't true. And then this mirror, when you look at yourself and you brace yourself for what's looking back at you, who's looking back at you. And there'll be a series of things. And again, it's probably going to take a while to get that. So write down what it is you're feeling, write down what it is that you're envisioning, right? Simple exercise. But I'd like you to do it. So when you're done here listening to me and share this with your friends, do this exercise. Because until you name it, you can't heal it. And you can't heal what you don't reveal. And fellas, I'm going to tell you something, man. There's power in this process. And you can do this. I told you before, I'm not sugarcoating it, right? I mean, and this is 30 plus years of earned experience around the lessons that we talk about here. And which hand would you raise from the question I asked about vulnerability? How do you see it, as a weakness or a strength? Which way do you raise your hand? And then why? And then lastly, are you basing your answer off of what you learned as a little boy that you're still letting that dictate how you run your decisions today? Where do you land? So do yourself a favor, take this time, Share this information. I see people have been coming in and out. Let me know where you're coming in from. Drop a comment section. Drop something in the comment section that lets me know you're hearing me, and understand this. For the next 24 hours, I want you to begin this process of the mirror moment. Identifying, really try to figure out, not blaming it, not making excuses for it, not denying the fact that there's something else going on, that you've been using the guise of success and all the other things, and it's just her fault, because it's not, right? It's the blaming piece that we talk about that turns into leadership, right? And then stepping into vulnerability with authentic discipline, true discipline, baby. Staying in that space, working on the answers and not blaming people, man. Fellas, we've been told a lie around this, and that lie is still living inside of us and is dictating how we respond in the most important times in our life. Right? That's the choosing to go silent. That's the choosing to withdraw and making all the excuses and reasons why we do that. She's tired of it, and I know you are tired of it too, man. Wow. But we got the answer. So drop it in the comment section if you're looking for the answer. Put the answer in there, right? And let's have a conversation. Tomorrow we're going to talk about, right? Today we're going to look at the excuse, putting a name on it. And tomorrow we're going to look at how you use silence as wisdom, and then how you respond based off of the trigger. You notice I said respond. You're not consciously doing that. Your body just automatically responding because it's been so long. It's on automatic pilot. It just goes that way. So we're talking about pattern disruptors tomorrow, right? So you don't no longer just run by subconscious. But what would your life be like if over the course of time, with the mirror moment exercise, that you can finally have some relief and appreciate the times when you need to be present the most for your partner, and not be in a relationship where you have alligator arms, where you can't reach her anymore because you played the silent treatment. You played the game of whatever it is, manipulation, so you can protect yourself and your feelings, man. She deserves more than that. You deserve more than that. And it's time to do something different. So what are you going to do? You're going to look in the mirror. You're going to put mirror one. Number one is all the crap that you tell yourself, and to see the different scenarios. You're going to have a bunch of different scenes coming back at you that you do on a regular basis. And over here is the new one. What am I really hiding from? What's my real truth? Could it be what Jeff's saying? Could it be that my 5-year-old self or 9-year-old self or 20-year-old self is still calling the shots on how I respond as a man? And who is it costing? And what's it cost? Again, I don't care how much money you got in the bank. I don't care how many cars you have, how many jets you own, how many islands you might own, corporate businesses or whatever. But at the end of the day, man, there's nothing like being complete. Self-love, and then be able to love someone else. So you got some homework. I appreciate people dropping some comments in here, and Donald. Hey, what's up, man? Communication is key. That's right, Donald. You show up and you talk a lot about that, man. I appreciate you showing up tonight, man, and can tell us. You've talked about it before. I know you've mentioned that the most important thing you can do with your partner is to show up for her and communicate, and that's been working for you. So thank you for showing up and dropping that in the chat, man. And hopefully you'll kind of show up and share this information. Oh, you're not as wise as you, my friend. Thank you for the compliment, though. I just feel like it's an important conversation to have. I wish I would have had it at different times in my life. And fellas, I know, Donald, do you mind saying what greatest lesson have you learned from the mistakes that you made around communication? If there's one thing that you can drop in there before I run, and maybe you can think about it. I'll be back tomorrow about the same time, and we'll talk more about it. But man, I appreciate your participation and all those other things. So, fellas, last time, I say this as not judgment. I say this from a person that's lived the path that you're on, man. You have a chance to do something different so you don't end up on the other side of the table signing your life away and losing the person that you know you love, but you don't know how to lean in. Or you're leaning backwards and the arms that you used before to reach out and hug are long, but now you can only reach like alligators because you put restrictions on yourself based off of some things that happened years ago that need to get fixed, man. Anyway, I'm out of here for today. If you are serious about doing something, drop beer in the comment section, and I'll send you something that you can practice. I'll send you a little tool that you can do for 24 hours, and if you do this tool legitimately, you're going to see a difference. If you use the tool legitimately, you're going to see a difference. So write 24 hours when you hear this, and I'll drop it out there for you. And we'll show up tomorrow, day 2 of just a thought around the challenge and the benefit that it can bring to you, so that you no longer have to be caught in the trap of the vicious cycle, spiraling out of control, but you can be growing together, having some calm in your home, having completeness in your life, working as a team in the relationship. My wife is my best friend. She is my soulmate. Man, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And I feel the same way about my wife, right? Because I mentioned, this second marriage. Man, God showed up and blessed me after I worked on myself with a wife that is amazing. We've been married 15 years today. And with that, she brought a daughter to our relationship. And our daughter's married with grandkids. So I'm in a whole nother level of joy in life, man. And I wouldn't have got there had not have done some of the things I'm talking to you guys about. So Donald, thank you for showing up, man. Working as a team and put yourself on the calendar for tomorrow, man. I know you got more to say. So hey guys, second marriage for me too. Bang. All right, man. So what was the biggest lesson you learned from the first to the second, man? If you got a moment to kind of share that before I go, I'm curious. I appreciate that. That there's some similarities in that, and I know for me, while he's either responding on or maybe not, is that things stack up, and the more you hold in, the harder it is to let it out. I'm gonna say that one more time. My experience, it's like resentments, man. The more you stack those, well, opposite of resentments, but sooner or later, those are all gonna blow up. But the more you stack things in there that are stacked and covered in your emotions, the harder it is to bring them out. The resentments just come out anyway. That's a behavior that's going to come out anyway, right? Anyway, so Donald, I appreciate you, man, and I just want to be in here for a few minutes, and I'll see you tomorrow, man. Show up tomorrow, brother. I appreciate you. Second marriage for you too. All right, guys, what you gonna do? Comment mirror so we can send you something for that 24-hour exercise. Let's begin to do something different that can change your life and make you a happy wife. Communication was an issue we never spent together. Wow. Man. And that's so powerful. That's so powerful. So, fellas, how is your communication? Is it second nature? Is she getting what's left of you and you're giving the world what's the best of you and justifying, hey, all the reasons why you may not have to communicate because you're doing all these other things at the end of the day don't matter? Oh man, I'll be here all night. So Donald, thank you so much, man. Show up tomorrow and let's continue this conversation. I appreciate you, brother. Fellas, let's go. Let's take this journey together. Stop walking this journey all by yourself. It's time to change, man. No more excuses. Name what it is. Name the pain, and let's change the game. All right, Combat King out. Thanks, Conversations with Jeff, for hosting this. Like, subscribe, and go to that channel. And Comeback King Enterprises, we want to thank you for putting something together that is needed, that's going to help us impact 10 million lives across the world, one life at a time. All right, fellas. Donald, good to hear from you, man. I've been wondering about you, brother, so it's good to hear you still out there kicking, man. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you later.